with that being said, we're going to do a resume roast. If you want yours roasted live, I'll do it on these, but I'll also do, if I have time, I'll do a short, and then I'll send you a link wherever you sent me your resume. So happy to do that for you. I want to make sure our resumes are strong. They're catching people's eyes so we can get you a job, right? And also so you can focus and be efficient with your time as well. That's what I want to help you do. Let's dive into this resume. Let's see what we got. Now, I'm going to pause here and I'm going to tell you, I'm always going to be very, very open and honest with you about what I'm thinking when I read this, because I want you to have that insight so that if you're doing it, you can fix it, because I want you to realize what you're saying and the repercussions of what you're saying when you say it. So let me tell you what I'm talking about here. So as I read through this, like, this is good. Okay, 6+ years of IT experience. Cool. And specialized education in cybersecurity or cyber computer forensics. Now I'm hoping, all right, I'm hoping I see some of this in here somewhere. So a degree or certifications. Okay. Proven track record in this stuff. Okay, I need to see evidence of this. So whatever you put in the summary, what I'm getting at, whatever you put in the summary, you need to show evidence and prove to me that you're doing it, because you're setting the expectations for me up here at the top of what I expect to see down below. If you get me excited and let me down, you let me down. You might not get an interview. So keep me excited, right? It's like a newspaper. So think about it as a newspaper. You want to grab their attention, keep them excited, and you'll get probably a call and get an interview. It's actually something I need to do with my YouTube videos. I got roasted by ChatGPT. It says I need to be doing better with hooking my audiences. Whatever. We'll get there. I'm a cybersecurity professional, not an entertainer. All right, so currently pursuing advanced certifications, Security Plus and Network Plus. So to me, this reads like he doesn't have them yet. So we'll see. I thought he did. I looked through it real quick earlier, and I thought he did. While developing expertise in digital forensics and ethical hacking and incident response. So he's talking about this. So this is where I was getting to, where he's setting me up. Like, I expect to see a lot of effort into these subject areas in his resume if I read this. And I am reading it. So this is what we expect to see. So let's see if it's in there. The rest of this stuff, strong analytical mindset, hands-on experience. Again, he's mentioning forensics, analysis, and IT infrastructure management. Again, we want to see evidence of this. And if you say, you got to be careful of the words you use here. So hands-on experience. Okay, he didn't say he was an expert. He didn't say he had elevated expertise in it. So he was very cautious with wording, which I suggest you do as well. All right, education. Bachelor's of Science in Cyber Computer Forensics and Counterterrorism. Wow, I can't talk. Let me get a drink. All right. So something to note is that this is in progress. He's not done yet. Look at this, December 2026. So it is in progress. A lot of people will put in progress. It doesn't really matter. Either one works, right? You just don't want to mislead people. That's the problem that a lot of people do, is they mislead. And it leaves a bad taste in the interviewer's mouth or the reader's mouth instantly, and that's not good. You don't want to do that. You don't want to leave a bad impression ever. All right, something I do want to point out here that is good is that we have relevant coursework. Definitely a good way to show the type of things you're doing. Cool. Lab experience. Cool. I will tell you, I prioritize external labs versus school labs. I've met a lot of people with forensic degrees that suck in basic forensics. It's because schools do a really bad job of teaching. And I've just done so many interviews where I've seen it. But when you typically do this in something like, say, the SOC Analyst 1 course, you're going to dive in deeper. And that's why I prefer it over this stuff. It's usually very fast paced. You don't dive in very far. So it is kind of an eye roll when I see it. Okay, cool. My old director will tell you I made her cry in jest when she came over as an intern back in the day. Because I asked her a question, like, oh, I thought you had a forensic degree. Because I called on her to answer a question. And I thought she was going to give me a good answer to help, as I was teaching. And she felt bad because she didn't know the answer. And I felt bad. Um, sorry. But that's the case. She had a forensic degree, actually. And I thought it was a very basic forensic question. So, point is, there is a disconnect, a huge disconnect, a chasm between bachelor's degree, even a master's degree, and on the job experience or these other types of labs. So keep that in mind. All right, technical skills here. So this is where they're outlining skills that they have accumulated. So the key stuff here is they're kind of loading it up with keywords. It is important to load your resume up with keywords, but don't go overboard with it. And the reason why we do want to make sure we have them in here is because when recruiters are looking through resumes or scanning, they do have tools that are looking for these keywords, but we also don't want to overload it because it'll make it ugly or people start realizing you're just full of crap. Like I saw a resume the other day that had all these skills and stuff in there and I just eye roll. Like burp suite, blah, 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 like just buzzworded the mess out of it. And it was very disappointing. And they had no courses or anything on it. They didn't have any labs or anything to explain how they got those skill sets. It didn't make any sense. Anyways, be careful, but we do want to make sure they're on here if you have them. I will tell you, anything you put on your resume is fair game in an interview for me to ask about. So also be careful because if you have it on here and you can't talk to it, you're going to look really, really silly in the interview when you're asked about it. And we don't want to look silly in an interview. All right, last little bit here. We're almost done. Certifications. He has ISC2 certified in cybersecurity. This is one of those, I think the free or really cheap ones are kind of like a CAE, not even a CISSP light. It's cool, right? It's like a little bit of fodder, but it doesn't really count for much, I will say, in my perspective anyways. We have Security Plus, Network Plus in progress. So they're not done yet. So something to keep in mind. Professional experience, we don't have a lot here. Which is tough. We do have some IT experience. IT experience is kind of like, okay, cool, but you're not going to get an interview just because you have IT experience in a Security Plus, I will say. Because what you have to do for people like me is you have to help me get across, they're an IT administrator. How do they become a really good security analyst? These are very, very different things. Key projects. So this is a really good section where they're doing projects. Again, I caution folks, you need to make sure you can convey you actually learned a lot. Did you just run one command? Do you understand what you're seeing? Like that's the key, right? You can run commands all day, but do you actually understand what you're looking at? I would document what you did and share it in a blog and a Git repository, in a video. That's going to be stronger. As an interviewer, I promise you, I will go look this stuff up and read through it. At least skim it to see what you did and just get an idea of who you are as a person, because that's a really good like job fit signal is that you do this stuff on the side, you invest in yourself, you try to share. That's a huge, huge signal for hiring managers, at least for me, which is the type of thing I'm trying to build, right? I want to build a community of people who are excited about what they do, who are excited to share, who love to take on the role of mentoring and coaching, who like to always improve the organization and our capabilities. These are the type of signals I look for. Just putting that out there for you. Continuous learning. So they do talk about some of these other things they do. 200 weekly, that doesn't really mean much to me. Junior technician training and mentoring, that's pretty good. I'd ask about that. Cross-functional team collaboration, that's just a little fluff. I would ask about this. I would almost guarantee the person doesn't have a ton of answers there. I see this on almost everyone's resume, and very rarely do I have a strong answer. When I do, this is a good signal. That means they're contributing to the community. I'd ask about this. I would love to see the blogs, and I'd love to see the research they actually did. I'd love to see proof here. Overall, I love the layout of this resume. Actually, this is probably the best laid out resume I've seen in quite some time. So mad props for that. It's very easy. There's enough space. It's not cluttered. You got a lot of good contrasting titles. So really, really good job on that. Very easy on the eyes. This is what I'm talking about when you leave a good experience. So me just looking at this is visually appealing. That's good. So a lot of people get hung up on making it look pretty. The content is way more important to me than how visually appealing it is. So if you have to prioritize one, which we always have to figure out how to prioritize our life when we're studying and trying to break in, prioritize getting the right stuff in here over making it look pretty. But it needs to be at least make sense, flow well, and not look like crap. And this is where having a lot of people review it for you, correcting any misspellings, mispunctuation. We just want some consistency in here. That's a really big thing, and enough space. One of the things this person probably would have got a lot of flack on is that it is 2 pages and they don't have any experience. I personally don't care about long resumes. I would rather you give me all the information so I can make a decision on myself versus you truncating the information. I don't care about long resumes, especially if you have like a chunk, like a bunch of labs. So for those of you, like we were talking about the labs and the SOC level 1 stuff, this is like, I would put it up here with your education or over here near your clients, like additional training. Have a section for it and add it there because I want to see it, and I want to see it at the top of the resume, especially for those without any experience. That type of stuff means more to me than all these type of things that aren't applicable to SOC work. Like the IT stuff is good. The driver stuff, I wouldn't do a lot of bullets for something that wasn't directly applicable. Just saying, it eats up a lot of space. We could use that space for other stuff. So things to think about. For if I were making a hiring decision for this person for a SOC level 1 role, they wouldn't be ready yet. I would say get these certifications, at least the Security Plus. Sounds like they're going to knock 2 of them out by their degree. Great. So something to keep in mind if you're watching this, which I hope you will. I'll put this as a separate video for you, and then I'll send you the link later. So we have spring 2026, summer 2026, and then you're graduating in December. So between summer and December, I would highly recommend you also start chipping away at like Blue Team Level 1 or the SOC 1 pathway and getting that added to your resume. That with your degree, with these 2 certifications, you would be someone that I would most certainly recommend for an interview. Great resume, great looking resume, a few little touches there to make it clear. Overall, a great resume. I think this person is going to be really, really, really good shape when they graduate in December. Make sure to do that like, share, subscribe thing that all those fun people like to say in the social media world. Definitely helps me help a lot more people, keeps me engaged, keeps me excited about doing this, that people actually care and listen and value the information. Good luck studying. Happy hacking. See ya.